How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our venture in the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings, Flight Diary. Last episode, So apparently, Alvie has fallen ill, and Kanako has taken the liberty of actually helping our young lad get back to health. And, I don't know, depending on how things turned out, she might have caught what he had. But we're going to find that out fairly soon. So from the last point, Amane, if you could load that up and let's see where this is going to go. Alright, let's see what we got. And for good measure, we're going to repeat that last remark. Okay, so with that, let's continue. Just a few minutes. And she's out cold. She's really out cold. So that's how it ended up happening. Got it. How exactly did it get like this, she asked. Last thing she could remember was her sitting on the floor, leaning against the bed. So how did she end up sleeping next to Alvie? That's a very good question. You mind telling us? We don't understand that language. Of course you don't. No matter how she racked her brains, whatever happened in between then and now remained a complete blank. Let's not get any ideas, let's just see where this goes. She still felt a little groggy, and her head was kinda heavy. Kanako, were you drinking? She found it hard to believe Alvie would have dragged her into bed with him. I doubt he did that. Had she been so sleepy she climbed in next to him without realizing what she was doing? That could very well be. While she turned possible explanations over in her head, she felt something cool run down her back. She twisted left and right, checking if her clothes were all in order. There were a few wrinkles here and there, but apart from that, everything looked fine. Alvie's brow furrowed as he turned over in his sleep. She instinctively jerked back to put some distance between them. I don't know. What are you worried about? Her clothes hadn't been disturbed. Obviously, nothing untoward had happened. That's what she tried to tell herself, anyway. There was nothing to say that anything weird had happened, but she just could not help but worry about it. She'd heard of people laughing when they were up against the wall, but she never thought she'd experience it herself. This really was not the time to be laughing. She knew what she had to do. Very, very smart. Now run! Run like the wind! Sorry, a little dramatic. That had to be her top priority. If If anyone walked in right now, they could get all kinds of wrong ideas. And we know how that turns out in many cases. Who would ever believe they'd spent the night together without letting anything happen? I would. I would definitely believe that. Even if she didn't fully believe that.
考えたくないんだけど、もしかして間違い起きちゃった？
You know, I think she's starting to look just a little bit too much into this, you know what I mean? Extend the little wings which fly in this sky highly. Kanako had been acting weird all morning. She wasn't exactly avoiding me, but she seemed uncomfortable somehow. Even when she spoke to me, she wouldn't look me in the eye. She didn't say any more than was absolutely necessary and made herself scarce when she was done. Strange behavior for someone who usually pranced around the house in her underwear. I did have an idea of what might be bothering her, though. I wanted to talk to her and set her mind at ease, but she won't even stick around long enough to let me thank her for taking care of me. How had things come to this? I'd been stirred awake this morning by a strange noise. I opened my eyes just in time to see Kanako trying to creep out of my room. She'd been sneaking forward on all fours, her back arched like a cat. I called out to her before she could reach the door. Kanako?
起こしちゃったか。ごめんね。
Her eyes darted every which way, avoiding meeting my gaze at all costs. She was smiling, but it looked stiff and forced, nothing like her usual expression. I couldn't shake the feeling something was not right here. Why was Kanako even in my room in the first place? Oh, just don't worry about it. Anyhow, what are you doing in here so early?
それより風邪はもう大丈夫？咳は？頭痛は？吐き気は収まった？
Yeah, I feel much better after a good night's sleep. I'm probably not completely back to normal yet, but I'll live.
そっか。顔色もすっかり良くなったわね。よかったよかった。
Yeah, sure, and thanks. So, what are you doing?
でも調子に乗ったらダメよ。まだまだ病み上がりなんだから。
Sure, but...
それじゃあ、私はこれで。じゃあね。
Hey, wait a minute! Before I could say any more, Kanako was already dashing out of the door. What was that all about? I can't think of anything I could have done to upset her. Maybe it was because of the cold, but most of the previous day was a complete blur to me. I'd spent most of my time in bed anyway. But I must have done something. Why else would Kanako be so on edge? I wanted to thank her for taking care of me all day and clear up whatever this misunderstanding was about. If she'd stay still long enough for us to have a conversation, that is. I really do feel grateful to her. She'd given up her whole day to keep an eye on me while I mostly just slept after all. Sure, she'd said she was free anyway, but it couldn't have been too much fun for her. And yet she'd never complained once. I had to thank her. I didn't feel like fixing a window and didn't feel like fixing a window had entitled me to this treatment. I was pretty sure I wouldn't have recovered this quickly without her there by my side. I'll just have to pin her down. Owie, that might be just a little bit much. Let's take it down a couple of notches. My chance came sooner than expected. On the way to the dining hall, I ran into Kanako coming out of the bathroom. Morning. It's not like you to be up and about this early.
本当はもっと寝たかったんだけどね。二度寝しようにも微妙な時間だったし。
She tried to turn her yawn into a laugh. Wasn't very convincing. A few wet strands of hair were clinging to Kanako's cheek. She must have just been washing her face. I realized I was staring.
何？葵くん。そんなに見とれちゃって。
Looks like somebody might be back to normal. Oops, sorry. I had to get a hold of myself. Had I really just been standing there staring at her? I took a deep breath to bring myself back to my senses. I was just surprised. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you actually wearing clothes.
そうだっけ？可愛い後輩も増えたし、頼れるお姉さんだってアピールしよっかなーってね。
Is that right? Kanako straightened up and rested her hand on her hip, smirking confidently. My attention was drawn toward her lightly swaying breast. Owie, focus! 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 But I managed to control myself and keep my eyes on her face. Very good. Very good. My attention was drawn toward her lightly swaying breasts, but I managed to control myself and keep my eyes on her face. Very good, Owie. Very good. Stay focused. Stay focused.
ん？でもそんなにいつも薄着だったっけ？
Well, if you count just wearing underwear around the house with a bunch of company, some would say that's pretty skimpy. Yeah, in the summer anyway. Feeling a bit embarrassed over what I just said, my heart started to beat faster. I'd only been trying to make conversation, but now I couldn't help feeling awkward. A heavy silence settled over the both of us. Kanako looked uncomfortable too, though she kept stealing glances at me now and then. Seeing her acting so bashful only made it worse for me.
体は大丈夫なのかしら？
Yeah. Yeah, I'm great. Thanks to you, I'm gonna be just fine. Seriously, thank you for everything.
そんな大げさすぎよ。特別なことしたわけじゃないし。
Huh?
もうそんなジロジロ見ないでって。
What was going on here? When did Kanako get so cute? But this wasn't the time for that. I had to find out what this morning was all about. So, Kanako, I've been meaning to ask you about this morning.
おはようございます。
Interrupted by the triage. Or is it the douage? The dualage. Nah, forget it.
おはようございます。
I looked up to see Asa and Yoru descending the stairs. Oh, morning, you two.
ずいぶんとのんびりしてますけど、いいんですか？割とギリギリな時間ですよ。
Huh? I looked at my watch and realized I'd lost track of time. Whoa, you're right. Sorry, I'll get right on it.
私もお手伝いします。私も手伝うわ。不吉祥な姉さんだけじゃ心配だし。ヨルちゃんひどい。
Sorry, Kanako. I've got to go get stuff ready in the kitchen.
はいはい。頑張ってちょうだいな。
Looks like I missed my chance again. I'd have to be more focused next time.
なんかダメだ。
Yeah, you could have. She put a hand on her cheek. It felt warm despite the cold water she'd splashed on it a few minutes ago. It wasn't like her to be so timid.
調子狂うな。
This was all always thought. Wow, blooper. This was all Aoi's fault, she thought.
何もなかったみたいに普段通りだし。
And you're not? She guessed it could be all in her head. But what if something had happened, and Aoi was just really nonchalant about it? I don't think so. I think he probably would have noticed before anyone else.
どうなんだろう。なんとか真相を確かめないと。
Yeah, might as well get closure.
おはようかな。おはよう、小鳥。なんだか顔赤いわよ。暑いからじゃない？今日はちょっと蒸し暑い感じがするし。確かに今日は絶好のフライト日和よね。今日も部活？当然。じゃあ私もついて行っていい？
Interesting. As soon as the bell rang, the classroom was filled with noise and activity.
さあ今日も張り切っていくわよ。小鳥は本当に疲れ知らずよね。
With classes over for the day, I met up with Kotori and the others. Asa and Yoru had gone on ahead, apparently. We better not keep them waiting.
その前に今日は特別ゲストが来てるわよ。
A guest?
やっほ
You mean Kanako?
ーい。そうよ。私たちの新しい活動拠点を見たいんだって。やることもなくてさ、せっかくだしいろいろ見せてもらおうかなと。
I knew you couldn't stay away forever. She'd shown some reserve when I invited her to join us before. Kanako smiled awkwardly, her cheeks turning red.
それじゃ行くわよ。
Righto! I love this track.
すごいわね。
Kanako was clearly shocked by the size of the hangar. We called it our club room, but it was really a much bigger space.
ね、すごいでしょ。ここに来ると気合が入るのよね。やってやるわよって。バカ言ってないで、さっさと作業に入ってください。
Yoru had arrived already and was showing no patience for Kotori's enthusiasm. She shot a glance at Kanako.
また余計な人が増えた。そう邪険にしないでよ。抱きつこうとしないでください。
Because she's Kanako. That's why. She's Kanako.
あれ？アサちゃんは？もう先に始めてます。
Sure enough, Asa was over near the glider. She hadn't even noticed the rest of us and was carefully inspecting the cockpit and the surrounding area.
よし、私たちもさっさと始めるわよ。了解。
What about Kanako?
じゃあ適当に見学させてもらおうかな。
Okay, cool. Feel free to ask if you have any questions.
ほいほーい。
Kanako waved as she walked away. I'm sorry. Kanako waved as we walked away, still keeping a watchful eye on us.
青先輩、外見てもらっていいですか？
Sure.
葵先輩、これなんですけど。
Oh, right. think... Huh? I wasn't sure why, but it felt like I was being watched. I always feel like somebody watching me. Oh gosh. All the club members were gathered around the glider though, apart from Yoru, who was immersed in a book on the stairs. Meanwhile, Kanako was standing next to Kotori, her attention focused on the machine. I could have sworn she'd been looking in my direction a second ago.
Senpai?
Oh, sorry. Aga is probably the best person to ask about this one.
わかりました。ほほー。
Ah! I jerked away in shock. I hadn't noticed that Kanako sneaking up on me like a bobcat. Where'd you come from? Don't scare me like that. Jeez. She got so close without making any noise at all.
いやー、ちゃんと先輩してるね。感心しちゃうわ。
She nodded as if agreeing with her own statement. Her hair bounced with the movement, diffusing a sweet smell into the air. The difference in our height forced her to look up at me. That sight, combined with her scent, made my heart beat a little faster. I just delegated the task, though. Did you need something? Kanako's only reply was a slightly strange smile. And I think we'll find out what that smile represents on the next episode. Oh, always the cliffhangers, the cliffhangers, the cliffhangers, the cliffhangers. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching this episode this time around. If you like what you saw this time around, maybe consider leaving a like. And if you would like to see more, if you have not yet, I highly encourage that you consider subscribing and activate the notifications. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.